I'm Peg Nuts, and the Nut family has been in the business of nuts for generations before I even started Peg's Nuts. There's no family and no company that knows nutting more than the Nut family. And I'm here to tell you that we have perfected our nuts so that they won't leave any nut dust on your hands. We want you to feel like you can touch our nuts. When it comes to nuts, we know what people want. We know that when you reach your hand into a delicious bag of honey roasted peanuts, you don't want your hands to be covered with nut dust. Here at Peg's Nuts, we have perfected the nut culling so that none of Peg's Nuts will leave any nut dust on your hands. So come on, touch our nuts. We have every kind of nut. Almonds, cashews, other nuts, even peanuts. Our variety is enormous, but our guarantee is just the one, that you won't get any nut dust on your hands when you're eating Peg's Nuts. So from my family to yours,
touch our nuts!
Go ahead, touch our nuts.
The American Highway System, an asphalt roadmap to greatness that stretches all across this great land of ours. But in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we often forget to look at that roadmap, thereby denying ourselves the great treasures this land holds. Maybe go to the ocean. Can you smell the sea air? I know I can. Or maybe a lake is more your style. How about that sunset? Or perhaps the mountains, the majestic glade. Oh my God, that's a bear! Everybody back in the car. No, seriously. Oh my God.
Hey, everybody. Wow, these glasses, I was trying them out. I don't think we can do these. I wanted to try to do something a little dark, not thematically, just like having some fun lighting. Also does this. That's less annoying than just a solid light. We'll try that for a minute. No, washed out. Anyway, welcome to Jock My Memory. I'm your host, Ken Breeze. This is the show where we explore childhood sports memories, childhood fandom, with some of the funniest people around. Very excited for this week's guest. We're going to talk some fantasy football, something I'm failing horribly at this year. Currently, the Dodgers are up 4-1 over the Rays in the bottom of the fifth, I believe. So that's game one of the World Series. Football charges ahead despite COVID diagnoses left and right. Hasn't killed the NFL player yet, knock on wood. But it seems to be spreading a little bit, including my Patriots, which, hey, let's face it, the Patriots could use a little bad luck just to balance out the karma in the world. I understand it. I get it. So, Matt, I apologize. My main man, Matt, I screwed up the broadcast. We wanted to have a contiguous thing going. So we had the viewers from the first show would cascade into this show, and I completely effed it up. So I'm sorry, Allison. My apologies to you. We would have rode those 10 viewers into this hour. We'll just have to win them back. Hopefully they tune back in after they grab a soda pop, and maybe your pretty face will lure them in. It's much more attractive than mine. Look at, I'm aging rapidly. I got braids done by my friend this week in a desperate grasp for youth. I don't think it worked. Anyway, let's not dawdle anymore about my inadequacies as a technical engineer. Matt, I'm sorry. Glad we got it back on track. Can you come on for a second?
I would love to. Hi.
I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
I know you had a big plan, and I screwed up.
You know what?
I apologize.
You just have to remind people that even though this is all on Twitch, it's still live theater. Live theater is alive and well, and it's happening right now. And we sally forth.
Well, I'm sorry. Hey,
sorry, my lighting is just the worst. I'm sorry. Oh, that didn't help. Oh God.
You weren't wearing flashing glasses that flash everything out.
This is
how did the AIDS walk out? How did the redheads do?
It was fantastic. We raised over $1,000.
Wow! Bravo.
Just our team raised over $1,000, and the walk itself did about 240K.
Wow, that is outstanding.
Yeah, which is low for them, because usually their walks are just huge events. But in the
but considering the circumstances right now,
time of COVID, you can't.
I think that's pretty good. Can't take anything for granted in the time of COVID.
Ken, you have someone waiting in the green room.
I do. So let's bring her out.
They've been waiting very patiently, and I feel like our green room is very comfortable. But I do feel that we should bring on your guest.
Yes, it is. It is 10. It is 10:15 Eastern, 7:15 Pacific. So let's get to it. This comedian is hilarious. I've seen her perform all over LA, mostly at the Clubhouse. And she also happens to be the fiance of one of my teammates on Linoleum City, who was a guest here a little while ago, Ryan Coyle. She does some of the funniest character work I've seen on the internet. She's very funny. She's been part of a podcast, a fantasy podcast, which I had no idea she was a fantasy head like me, a football geek, so to speak. So I'm pretty excited because, I've known her and I've admired her work around Los Angeles, and Ryan is a great friend of mine. I'm so happy that he's found someone that's so funny and cool, and I'm very excited to have her on the show. So without further ado, please welcome to the show, Miss Allison Phillips.
Hello.
Oh, so excited to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. How are you? Where are you?
I'm at my apartment. We just got back from Tahoe a few days or 2 days
Ooh.
ago. 2 days ago. Yeah,
Great.
so we're back in LA.
How was Tahoe?
It was good. It was beautiful. Much like the weather, they have seasons, so it's like you could see fall, which was great. And we did some kayaking, hit up a couple
Oh.
casinos.
How'd you do?
So the tables themselves, like the one we went to, was like $50 craps tables, which
Whoa.
is a little. I was like, this is like Vegas prices, but even higher. And so we found like a craps like virtual table thing, which did pretty
That's
well
what I
on
do.
that.
The one that looks like the bubble?
Yeah, it has the bubble. I had a pretty good roll there, so I
That's
turned
what I
$5
do.
into like $50 in like 10 minutes. And I was like, sick.
It's low pressure. It's the best way to learn how to
So
play.
low pressure. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. I was like, this is the new way I need to teach people rather than like, well, because now when you go, we've been to Vegas like once and we walked by and like some of the tables have like the shields in between.
Oh my god.
And then
yeah.
it's like 6 people max. So it's one of those things where like if you're coming up with more than like yourself, you're like, well, if there's already like 3 people at the table, it's like a full table now.
Yeah.
So it's
I want to get one of those tables for like my house because that's the most fun I ever have at the casino.
so much fun.
Yeah, because I just like it's like, get your bets. The lady like kind of yells at you a little bit. It's like
I love
like
it.
Taiwanese
Craps is the best.
Yeah, craps is, and it has the best odds, right?
Well, because you can bet on anything. You can bet with the table, against the table, just like your favorite number.
They just the pass line, man. Just
bet
the pass line, and you'll be, it's the easiest bet in the house. That's cool. Now you've done some traveling, the two of you. I've noticed at least. Where else have you been around this year?
This year, we went to Ireland and Scotland, and we got back actually the day before they like closed the travel borders from the US.
Wow.
So we made it just in time. So we did the improv festival there in Scotland in Edinburgh. So we did that, and then we did a road trip to Nashville. We went through like Albuquerque, Dallas, and then we got engaged in Nashville, and then we went to Charleston. Thank you. And then went to Charleston, and so we were there for like in Nashville for about like a month-ish, and then we came back and came back through Dallas, went to Santa Fe, did Vegas for a couple days, and then got back, and then it's been a considering the year, it's been a travel year, I guess.
Yeah, might as well.
I
what
know.
else are you gonna do? Or maybe
I know.
play some fantasy football.
I know exactly.
Yeah.
Fantasy football.
Yeah. I gotta run some. Oh, we have a fun color today.
Ooh.
We've changed. I have a new green.
Green and black were my high school colors.
Really? What was your high school mascot?
A Lancer.
Lancer? That's the town next to me. That's amazing.
Really?
Yeah, the Norton
That's so
Lancers.
funny.
Purple and silver.
Oh, we were the Thousand Oaks Lancers, but we were green and black.
I will give you 5,000 chances to guess my high school
mascot.
My high school mascot. Yes, it is ridiculous mascot.
Is it an animal?
It's not an animal, but it was represented by an eagle holding something. I'll give you that.
Okay. Is it like a shoe?
It's not holding a shoe. It's holding the thing in its clutches, not its beak. That's another hint. I'll give you.
Okay. It's got to be like a sword, right?
It's
a bow and arrow or a sword.
You're good. It is a weapon, but it is not a sword or a bow and arrow.
Ooh, okay. Is it like a bunch of rope?
No, it is not a hanging noose or tripwire, whatever you had in mind. A snare.
A gun? That would be crazy. That'd be crazy.
Closer. A gun is closer.
It's like a rifle or like is it a type of gun?
Even
worse.
Oh
my gosh.
More
a
destructive.
Bomb.
Yes.
It was a bomb.
It's an eagle holding a bomb. And guess what? This is true. 100% true.
What?
It's an eagle holding a bomb, and we're the bombardiers. Like,
no.
The Attleboro Blue Bombardiers. And then our rivals are the North Attleboro Red Rocketeers, which is another funny thing because
Is
of
that
Red
one
Ro-
an owl holding a rocket ship?
No, it's just a rocket.
It's just a rocket.
And they play Rocket Man when they come out to play. They all run
Oh,
out
that's.
to Rocket Man.
I mean, what else could you come out to?
They're pretty good too. They've had some guys in
Yeah.
the pro. They had a guy in the Chiefs that won the Super Bowl with your boy Mahomes.
Oh, hell yeah.
So you're a fan of now you answered my fun questionnaire, which I love because it just gives me a little bit of some nibbles to talk to
Absolutely.
people about, which is a lot of fun. So you mentioned, and I think this is kind of indicative of like the style of fan that's around now. My generation, I'm 45 almost. I'm gonna be 45 next year. Like, you picked a team and it's your team, and you stick with those guys. And when they leave the team, fuck those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Kinda like that.
exactly.
I think people that are a little younger than me, it's more about the players, and I like that player. And fuck the court. So some rich dude employs them. That's not the guy I root for. I root for the guy that's actually on the field, the man in the arena, Teddy Roosevelt style. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't. That's what's funny is like everyone's like, "Well, what's your football team?" I'm like, depends on who's my fantasy lineup.
Who's my defense this week?
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah. Fantasy does make you a weird type of fan, especially if that's your prime lens that you're looking at it through. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean,
yeah.
like one year I had like 3 Falcons players, so I was like, I'm a Falcons fan, and then the next year I had 0, and I was like, I'm a Saints fan. It just changes every year.
Pretty easy. Yeah. I mean, I have my diehard stuff. I mean, but fantasy can be fun, especially if your team's out of it. That's what's fun about fantasy. If late in the year, if your team really is tanked, you still have something to have some stake.
This is the first year I'm not sure I'll make it to playoffs because week 1 I lost Barkley and Michael Thomas and like my top 2 players and like 3 other players got injured in week 2. So my whole thing was just an injury reserve playlist. But and like I won last year, so I was like, it's okay. Like I can do all the last, and I got second the year before, third the year before that, and second the year before that. So I'm like, I guess it's fair that I just don't go this year, but I'm trying to make moves. I just made a trade today, so we'll see what happens.
We had a guy that's his team name is Saquon Solo. Yeah. And he beat me. He lost Saquon Barkley, and he beat me by 3 points. I just came up just short. I paid a lot of money for Claypool and Edelman in waiver transactions, and Claypool did well, and Edelman might be washed up. I don't know. He might be Patriots. Anyway,
Man.
do you want to hear my team real quick? This is kind of lame of me to do to you, but here we go. All right, quarterback Kyler Murray.
Okay, he's good.
He's having a great year. I
Yeah,
just
he is.
picked up Claypool and Edelman, but Edelman never. But I also have Tyler Lockett and Deebo Samuel.
Okay.
Kyler's having a good year. And then at running back, I have Josh Jacobs on the Raiders. James Conner with a Benny Snell Jr. handcuff. And then the old man himself, Mr. Adrian Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
And then
AP.
AP. And then tight end, I splurged on tight ends because I figured one can play as my my flex if I want to.
Who
So
did
I
you
got
get?
Kittle
Kelsey?
and Andrews.
George
Andrews. Kittle and Mark Andrews on the Baltimore Ravens.
Nice.
So, yeah, but it's been a rough year. I've gotten my butt kicked. It's a bunch of some heavy hitter improv people, which is fun.
It's a 10-person keeper league, you said?
10-person keeper. You get to keep one a year, and you get.
Is it a snake draft? Or auction?
It's auction. Yeah,
Auction.
My first
I
auction.
love
league.
auction. I prefer it.
Maybe we can get him to expand and throw you and maybe Johnny.
I would love to. Yeah, Johnny too.
Yeah, maybe Johnny would jump in there just to get another one because it's a fun league, but I think 10 is too little. I think 12 makes it the degree of difficulty is a little.
Yeah.
Maybe
you
do
can't,
another.
Not everyone
keeper.
can have a stacked team.
Exactly. I mean, we
do. Yeah, I have a keeper league also, but we can do 2 keepers, and it's a 2 quarterback, 3 wide receiver, 2 running back. Like it's a big league, so like we have to go deep for those flex positions.
Yeah, you're trying old tight ends that you like. He still got it. Witten could get 3 for the Raiders. He could pick up. You get desperate. So you mentioned in this questionnaire that two of your favorite players because of fantasy. One that surprised the shit out of me was Devontae Freeman.
Okay, so he's not my favorite anymore, but when I picked him up, I got him for $1, like as just like a rookie, and he was like my best player for like 2 years, like straight. Like there was like 2 years when he was on the Falcons where he was just dominating. And so I had him and Todd Gurley that I picked up also for like, I got them both for like a couple bucks. And so when I like finished that year I lost by 0.01 in the championships, which was absolutely heartbreaking because not even a full point.
That's crazy.
And then going into my next year, I was like, cool, I already have 2 set running backs where I'm paying like $1 for each of them. So I was able to have like Antonio Brown and Julio Jones. Like my whole team was so stacked for like the next couple years because of that. So I was like, you kind of have to like make your, like whoever you pick up throughout the season, if you're like, this rookie could do it, like you got to look for next year. Like, cause they're like, well, maybe like if they have a good end of the season, then they're going to do well in the next year beginning. So like that was always my strategy going in.
Which is a great strategy, which, and it's a very, for fantasy football, obviously it's a simplified process, whereas in the real world, there's contracts and all these factors where people want to live and stuff like that. But it shows you if you draft well, that's probably the most solid path to having a good team, because then you can afford to plug in the holes with great pieces instead of having to pay a lot to lure people in and then fill in the holes with little pieces, that aren't
right. Because like I know some people who like they don't want to spend money, and so they like wait the whole time. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, and it's like, do you have $250? And they like wait for all the best players to leave, and then they just like throw like pennies at like the like kind of like, I don't know, third, fourth string players, and their teams never do well. Or what happens is people like are like, well, I really want to have this guy next year, so I'm going to save him for like $50. And I'm like, no, you gotta. That's not the right strategy.
Blows the budget, and you see that in the real world, and people
exactly
get screwed, and then they got to release a bunch of good players because they can't afford to keep those.
Yeah, they should teach budget in elementary school. People would be so much better.
They should. Get rid of algebra 2.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't tell you anything I learned in algebra or geometry, but I'm like, if I learned budget and laundry when I was in like elementary school, I probably would have been doing a lot better.
We're sorry, math teachers. We still love you. You matter. Okay. So you had a couple other players on there. So one player now, Mr. Matt, we have a couple of videos under brand this week that I loaded up. Hopefully they're there. Oh yeah. So one of the guys that you said was, it's funny that Gurley has now gone into Atlanta because Freeman held out and then they didn't pay him. And now he ended up on the Giants, and now Gurley's on so I just wanted to show, you have Mahomes and Gurley were the other two people that you mentioned. I pulled 2 very short commercials for each of them from early in their careers, their rookie years. So I want you to tell me which one you think is the better actor out of these 2. Okay. And Matt, you get a vote too. The 3 of us will vote, and whoever gets the majority wins the NFL Rookie Oscar Award here on Jock. All right, so let's play. Oh, let's do the other one first. The other one's funnier. The Gurley one. The being a rookie sucks.
Being a rookie sucks. Being a rookie sucks more with Jolly Rancher.
Dance, Gurley, man! Dance! I'm a little teapot short.
Keep on sucking.
Wow. Now that one, let's just do a little analysis before we do the Mahomes one. What do we think of that? That was from 2015. Was that a little inappropriate? Could you make that one now? I don't know.
I don't know if you could make that now.
Yeah.
I do like the keep on sucking.
I do too, and I like
funny.
Them calling him Gurley Man just as a joke. I was trying to figure out who that actor was. I couldn't find any.
The other guy?
Yeah, the guy who yells.
Yeah, he's funny.
I like that guy. He's motivational. Dang it, Gurley Man! So that was Todd Gurley's rookie year commercial. That was a national commercial, so he had probably some more acting.
He's getting some residuals.
Coaching,
off that.
yes, some better. But this other one, this Pat Mahomes one, is twice as long and probably twice as good. So let's play this one next, Matt.
Let's go road right, road right. Hey, let's go. You're off a little bit. Get off, get off, get off. All right, let's go, let's go, let's go. Bring it in a little bit. Bring it in. You're off, you're off, you're off, you're off, you're off.
So who put you in charge of parking the cars?
Hey, it's Patrick Mahomes here at McGavick Nissan, inviting you to take a test drive.
McGavick.
Oh man, whose job is it to come up with these commercials? I want that job.
The irony there is, I think Pat Mahomes' voice sounds like Kermit the Frog's voice.
It does.
Hey, how are you? Yeah, really.
He
having
has
a good game.
Yeah, his voice is not what I was expecting.
No, you hadn't heard it before?
No.
Isn't that hilarious when you just have somebody's voice in mind and then they speak for the first time and you're like,
Yep.
whoa.
And you're like, this can't be right.
Hi there. Wow. And so that was pretty good. He had to direct each of the what were the Nissans, Matt? Were those Nissans? What do you think? And he had to direct them like he was like directing offensive linemen. And then that guy came in and just really cockblocked his dream sequence there of having Maximum Overdrive 2 meet a football movie. The Longest Yard meets Maximum Overdrive, a mashup.
So that had a very Friday Night Lights kind of feel to it. I felt.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
You know, like what's his Buddy Garrity has a car lot, right? And
yeah,
he gets the football player to come and do his yeah. My vote's for the first one.
Better acting by Todd Gurley. All right, so one vote for Gurley. I'm going to go opposite you because I think having to act with cars is even harder than acting with children or animals. Those are inanimate objects. He has nothing to play off of. There's no green screen here. It's all real, actual stunts. He could have got killed by any.
He
of
also
those.
didn't have much emotion in his face when he.
Well, he's a quarterback. He's supposed to be neutral.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was Meisnering it.
So I'm going Mahomes. So Allison,
I'll
it's up
stand
to you.
down after that.
Allison, you're the deciding vote for the Oscar.
You know, I'm also gonna go Mahomes, but my other reason why is because I don't know. I think Gurley could have tried they could have got him a vocal coach for the singing portion too.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely
Hey,
What would that be like? A guy like that making love to somebody.
Oh God, I know.
Come here.
They're just like they just put headphones on.
Yeah. Turn it up, baby. Turn the Kenny G up. So let's talk about. All right. So we've had some fun with some of our fantasy and pro stuff. Let's talk about. You were an athlete as a kid, right?
Yes.
You played soccer.
Yes, I did. I played soccer for probably like 12 years, maybe like somewhere around there. So I did. I did like all stars, and then I did like traveling club, and then I played a little in high school. So soccer was always my main thing, and then in high school I also did cross country and track for 4 years to like stay in shape for soccer. But then like my senior year I ended up just doing cross country because I was the captain. So I was like, well, okay,
I'll do it.
I'll do it. Yeah. I was very burned out on running by then, though. I was like,
sure. What events were you doing in the track? I guess long distance.
Just distance, so mile and 2 mile, 800, sometimes the 400, but anything distance. But like track was so boring because it would be like just 12 miles around or 12 laps around the track. Whereas cross country, you'd be like, oh, cool, we're like running at a lake today for school competition. Sure. And then you'd be like, cool, we get to go to like a cool place, run in the woods, and then eat bagels all day. So like that was always
carb
like,
load. Yes.
The pasta dinners the night before.
That sounds
can't
epic.
have any of it anymore, but it was great.
Yeah. Are you gluten intolerant?
I have celiac disease.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
So unfortunate.
So is that something that developed? I'm apologize for being ignorant about celiac. Is that something that developed? So did you have that as you were a kid and you were running despite the celiacs, or is it something that developed later?
So you have if you have the gene for it, it's genetic. So like you have the gene for it your whole life, but it can come on at any point in time. And
Got it.
I also have a wheat allergy. So I think when I was younger, like the wheat allergy gave me like certain symptoms, but then like 2 years ago, I had gastroenteritis and had to go to the hospital. And I think that's what like brought on my celiac disease, because it's usually like some kind of like traumatic stomach event that like ignites it. And since then it was like I was getting so sick. And so now I've been gluten-free for like 10 months. And like, but now if I eat, like even have a crumb, I'll get like, I'm knocked out. Like I got hit by a bus for 3 days. Like it's wild.
But before you used to have whole dinner.
So much food. All I ate was pasta and pizza.
Yeah. Bam. And then
Plates
you just
of pasta,
burn it all
mac and
off.
cheese,
Running.
all of it. Yeah. It was the best.
Being a teenager, which burns a lot of calories just being a teenager. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah. It's, you don't think it's going to like catch up to you. And then when you're like, oh, I'm not like just running around all day, it catches up to
you. So with soccer, you mentioned Mia Hamm as one of your favorite athletes.
Oh, yes.
Now, of course, she is known for a few reasons to me. I'm a big soccer fan, including women's soccer. And I have been to pro women's soccer games.
Very cool.
Which is fun, including seeing Abby Wambach and Meg and Rapinoe playing Boston against the Breakers a few years back, which is cool.
We actually saw Ireland versus Greece women's when we were in Ireland this year.
That's great. That's really
It was very cool.
How's the crowd?
Okay, so we went to the women's game, which was like at a high school, and it was just like empty bleachers and like a little snack shack. Yeah, I was shocked. Wow. And then we did go to a national, or like we went to like one of England's like men's league games that was like fully packed. And so we went, that was in like
is that Everton?
No, it was, what was it? I don't remember who was playing. It was like in
Make Ryan tell us if he comes back around.
I know, when he comes back, I'll have him tell me. I forgot where we were. We took a bus to London because we took the train because we were in Scotland, and we like went to London, or not London, but somewhere in England.
Somewhere. I was hammered. I don't remember a damn thing.
Pretty much. I think it started with a K, like where we were.
Knightsbridge, something
of the sort. But it was really interesting to see like the amount of men like at people at the men's game versus like at the women's game. But I think we actually had more fun at the women's game. Like it felt more like intimate and fun, and like, I don't know. I think the women played better.
Authentic, maybe.
Newcastle. That's
you looked at Newcastle. Nice. That's great.
Who played?
Huh?
Who played? Do you remember?
What players?
Former
like,
guest Ryan Coyle. Everybody.
Hold on.
Sweet tank top, bro.
It was. I don't remember. It was Newcastle, and then the other team was. We did get hats. We got beanies.
That's sweet. Ryan and I went to a soccer match in Portland. That was a lot of fun. We went to
nice.
Yeah, they're the Timbers. They're pretty. They did the chainsaw when they score. Burnley, nice. February 29 on a leap year day match. Wow, before the COVID struck.
Right before the
COVID struck.
It was so sad coming back.
Trivia question for you. This is a cool trivia question about Mia Hamm. I know she scored all these goals, and she's won World Cups and gold medals, but she is the only position player to do this in a World Cup. Do you know what it is? Non-goalie to do this in a World Cup.
Oh, use her hands.
That's sort of right. Sort of right.
Sort of right. Okay.
You're close. This is almost close as the bomb. You got there quick. The eagle holding the bomb.
Did she like catch the ball like somehow?
She's the only position player to play goalie in a World Cup.
Oh, I didn't know she played goalie.
Yeah, Brianna Scurry was sent off, and she ended up filling in at goal.
Oh, I did not know
I think
that.
the other goalie was injured or something, but yeah, pretty cool that they
That's
was
very
watching
cool.
footage and she's got the gloves on. They're way too big for her, but she went in there and did it.
Hell yeah, she's so
Yeah.
cool.
Plus, she married Noma Garcia Para.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that too.
Noma, they're still married.
Good for
Yeah.
them.
Love, I love love. You know,
Love when
Yeah.
people stick it out.
love. Did you have any rivals in any of those sports when you did cross country or soccer?
Like my specific rivals.
Yeah, like or you specifically, like there's someone like I'm gonna beat her time or something.
Oh
that
yeah.
was like, why is she captain?
I feel like there was like there was always like our biggest school competitor was Westlake, and so I was supposed to go to Westlake High School, and I school choiced to Thousand Oaks like a week before school started.
And the Westlake coach was like, I had you penciled in, Philip.
Well, I did their like summer training camp. I actually did their volleyball summer training camp too, which is pretty crazy. And then I was like, switching schools and I'm gonna do cross country now. Like it kind of just like, I know it was a weird last minute switch I made. Well, I think for volleyball, I realized I was too short. I was very good at playing the back, but I just was significantly shorter than every other girl playing volleyball.
We didn't have men's volleyball, but I was the same way whenever I played volleyball. I could
loved
dig
it.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I dislocated my knee trying to spike the ball a couple times. Be like,
oh no.
yeah, just landed wrong.
Yeah, I feel like with soccer, or with Westlake, so like, it was like most of the girls I trained with, so like they were all kind of competition for me, where it was kind of like, and of course, I mean, they were better, like, they beat us, because they had a like, I don't even think Thousand Oaks High School had a summer training program for it. Like the other school took everything like way more seriously than the school I went to was.
So
but
when you showed up at the other school, were you ahead of them because you had summer trained and they didn't?
A little bit. I mean, but it's a winter sport though, so like I did it in the summer, and then I had like the whole season of cross country where I wasn't playing soccer, and then I had to play soccer in the winter. So I feel like it just did absolutely nothing for me. Like it obviously like came back to me and stuff, but like I was just kind of like. I quit my club team when I went to high school because I just didn't have time for it. I was doing too many other things to like do traveling on the weekends and stuff every week. But I still miss it. I still have like weird soccer dreams and stuff every now and then. We did like a co-ed league like
you and Ryan.
Year ago. Yeah, like a year ago. And then that's another thing where I'm like, I wonder like when that stuff is ever going to come back. Like just like a rec league.
Yeah. Now what position did you play? Or did you
midfield?
Midfield. So you ran a lot.
I did a lot. Yeah, which makes sense why I did cross country.
That's
track.
great. Yeah,
I loved center mid. I just loved like kind of being in like the middle of everything.
Yeah, when I played for 7 years as a kid. My dad was a pretty good player. He was the captain of his college team, of his high school team. Sorry, and he played in college. And he wanted me to play. I could tell. And then I switched to football 8th grade, and I think it broke his heart a little bit. Yeah, but when I played, that's what I like to do because I have calves that, little calves that can smash. So that's
I still have them. They never go away.
Yeah, stuck with them forever.
They're for life.
Meters for life. Yeah. Did you you ever have? No, sorry to ask this. Do you ever have any injuries?
I did, but
why are you laughing?
It's they're both incredibly embarrassing.
That's why I asked these questions.
So one of them I did break technically with a soccer ball, but it wasn't like playing soccer. I was at my brother's like baseball game when I was like, it was my first all-star team I was on. I was probably like 12. And I was at my brother's baseball game and I was just like practicing my juggling, like my feet juggling. And I was right next to a tree and I like somehow tripped on the root of the tree, like, and fell into the tree like this. And broke my arm. And I go over to all the parents and I was just like, I think my arm's broken, but it didn't swell up and I wasn't crying. I just like because I had a pretty high pain tolerance when I was younger, and I was just like, I could just tell. Like, I was like, I can't put weight on it.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, well, why don't we just wait until the game is over? Go get some nachos. So she gives me $5. And I go get some nachos and I come back and I'm like, all right, fine. I go eat the nachos. And then we get home and I'm like, yeah, my arm's still really hurting. And she's like, well, I just made
Here's
dinner.
some more nachos.
Yeah, she goes, well, I just made dinner. Let's go after dinner. So she basically is just like, here's some more food. So eat all the dinner. I'm still not crying or anything, but after she goes, let's see how you're feeling after dinner. After dinner, I'm like, I still can't put weight on it. We go to the hospital and they're like, yeah, it's broken. And
here's
so
a sandwich.
Yeah,
here's some
like,
lollipops. Just keep feeding you.
I'm just like, they're like, just heal it with food. And then I started crying because I was like, I can't play soccer. So it wasn't like the pain that like, it was like, it hurt that I like had to like not play for 4 weeks. I think it was about 12.
Yeah.
And then like 2 years later, I broke it again the first time I went snowboarding. I was in the snowboard ski club at my school, and it was my first time to the snow, my first trip, everything. And I decided I would go with my friends and skip the tutorial and go with my advanced snowboarding friends to a Black Diamond and break my arm in the first, like, probably like this far down the slope. Knew it was broken immediately. I carried my board like back up the mountain. I was like, hey, I think I broke my arm. It was like here's a sandwich, here's some nachos. They put me in.
Rub this on.
It's kind of the same though. So they put me in one of those like ski things, like that they zip you up, and I had to like go down the mountain. They go to the bottom, and then they're like, well, like, we could call your mom, but by the time she gets up here, like, we'll probably be taking the bus back. So why don't you hang out in the area with the hot chocolate and snacks? So every time I've had a broken bone, they're just like, here's some snacks, just like wait it out.
Oh my God. That's just the solution. Just
always.
Can I share my one skiing story with you?
Please.
'Cause it's a little similar. It's a little more irresponsible. I hate to say it. I'm from New England. I just did not ski. I just didn't want to do it. I liked sledding and stuff like that. It was expensive, and I didn't like being out in the snow. And I was bad when things were strapped to my feet like skates. So I just like, I'm not into it. But my friend and I, who also was a similar vein, football playing friend of mine, a couple years after high school, I think maybe we were like 23, maybe. We were like, let's go try skiing. We had a cheap pass to Wachusett Mountains, which is a small mountain in central Mass. And we made the really dumb decision to take ecstasy before we went skiing for the first time.
Oh, no.
It was a dumb idea. And we get in, and it's us and a bunch of children in the class. And we have this smarmy Danish instructor named Hans. And he's like, he knows something's up like right away, because my friend Steve is not the most like lithe guy anyway. He played center, and he's like a thick dude. He's like 5'8", like 240. He's a thick guy, and I'm not I'm a stubby man myself. I'm a good athlete, but I'm stubby in a way. And then all these little kids who are like learning for the first time. So we go on the bunny hill, and he and I are just horrible. We are like. He almost takes a kid out, which was scary. Like, he couldn't stop. He couldn't remember how to stop. And he like smashed into the side of a shed with like a rope that almost took him out. It was just like horrible. So we're doing this for like half an hour. And at the end of the half hour, he's like, okay, we're going to take everyone up to the next size hill. And he goes, except for you two. And he just says, everybody wait. And he comes up to you, he goes, you two, you stay here. You keep trying here, and we will go there, and you just stay here, okay? Stay in this area. And we're like, we got it. Like, it was like he looked at us, like we're like, he knows that we're completely. And so we do okay the rest of the day, and like I do a couple runs, he does a couple runs. We kind of feel our way through it. It's not the best. The rental skis, they're not the greatest. We don't have anybody guiding us. We're just learning. And we do this last run of the day. For some reason, I get all John Claude Keeley on it, and I put a pole in the ski pole in the snow. Sorry, and I go like this, and my shoulder just gets crushed, and it's still messed up to today. And I'm Allison, I'm only like 200 feet from the bottom when this happens. When I finally fall.
No!
And I try to, and I don't get up right away. And all of a sudden, the ski patrol comes, and my friend makes it to the bottom. He's just waiting for me, looking at me. And they bring a fucking ski mobile up with a sled. And I'm like, is this necessary? I'm like, the place is right there.
At the bottom of the...
And the guy hands me a sandwich. No, I'm just joking. He throws cupcakes at me. Says, heal up, boy. Rub this on your skin. No, but he's like, you got to get in, man. He's like, you got to get in. It's just policy. It's company policy. If you get hurt between there and there, I'm liable. So I need you to get so I had to get in a cart for 200 feet and roll down the hill and then get out 200 feet later. And then they looked at my shoulder. I'm like, I can move it. They're like, we think you're okay. See you later. And that's the only time I've ever skied.
That's the only time I've ever snowboarded too.
No,
I'm like, I'm scared to do it again.
Me too. I'm like, I don't think it looks so
I also
fun.
don't like it being attached to my feet because I surfed first and I loved it and I was like, oh, this is great. And like I was young, so I was like, I think it was easier for me as a kid to like learn then. And so I thought snowboarding would also be easy. I don't like it. I don't like having it attached to my feet either.
Yeah, I feel like ankles are trapped. I don't know. It just I don't know. I also can't sleep tucked into a bed. Isn't that weird? It's the same thing.
Where do you sleep?
My feet. I let my feet hang out. I have to pull the blanket out, and it drives people that I share a bed with crazy. If I ever have to share a bed.
Yeah, I hate when my feet are like the only thing not covered.
See, that's what I need. Else I feel like I'm gonna be somebody's gonna bind my feet together. I'm being kidnapped or something. I don't know. I have a weird phobia.
Sometimes I do like one full leg out. And then like one full again, but that's
the hokey pokey sleep.
The hokey pokey sleep.
Yeah, that's how I do it. That's what it's all about. Well, one thing I just want to leave on, not to get too serious, but we were talking before about the difference with the two attendances in the football matches you went to when you were in the UK, and this came up today. Actually, people are once again talking about the disparity in the NBA and WNBA salaries. Yeah. Came up with a few people on social, and obviously there's a lot of the men. I hate to say, were like, "Hey, look at the revenue, look at the attendance, and all this stuff." And a lot of people, I think out there, you men watching, I think if you just put money into things, that's what sells. Look at Olympics.
It's like, what do you think gets revenue going? Like, you got to have people at the games, so it's like, go to the games.
Yeah, that's part. But I'm arguing like if you put the same money that you put, like when there's women's Olympics stories, people are all over that, especially with soccer and basketball, gymnastics. When the Women's World Cup happens, and they put money into that with marketing.
Exactly.
Female
and
wrestlers.
That's when people go, because when you put the revenue in, then people go to the game. So it's like,
some of these female professional wrestlers are getting just as big as the men, or if not bigger, because they're starting to get attention and money, and a lot of the screen time in the shows. It matters.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely,
so I challenge all those people out there that think that. I was just wondering what your thoughts are on that yourself.
Oh yeah, I think it's insane that women still aren't being paid as much as men in these sports, and I think it's insane that they're not like putting the same like the people above them aren't putting as much effort into, like you said, like the revenue and like getting people to come to the games and like getting like putting the money into it to make it like worthwhile. Like going to these games, I'm like, these guys had this amazing stadium that they're at, and then the women had to play at a high school soccer field, and I'm like, that's crazy to me. Like they've worked so hard to get there. And I also think women play better than men half the time. Like they're more strategic and they're more like team players. They're not all trying to be show-offs. Not that all men are like that, but you know what I mean?
It's the same game. I mean, I think in both of those sports, it's like slightly different styles, but it's still
they're
I think
putting in the same amount of work.
Yeah, I mean, ice hockey. I think that product is equal to me when I watch it. You can't tell with people with helmets on. I mean, a little bit of speed, but
I always wonder if that has a thing to do with it too. Is like just like seeing the people on the field. You know what I mean? Like,
if that makes a difference.
Curious if it does or not.
I wish there was a women's pro softball league. I feel like there should be one.
Yeah, they have like, what do they have? They have like the because they don't
kind
have.
of is.
There kind of is,
but it's
'cause I
not
know-
as big as I wish it was.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
it's just it's not anywhere comparable to like the men's, but yeah, it's I feel like it sucks. That
well,
it's
think
just
of how
like,
many AAA and Florida League and Gulf Coast League, and there's all these minor league men's teams. I mean, you could
Yeah.
dissolve some of that and use some of that infrastructure to create
absolutely
a cool, or even like league of their own style women's baseball league.
Yeah, because I mean, I even remember like growing up, like I always wanted to play soccer, and then like everyone was like, "Well, there's no money in that," or like for women, like or like there's, and it's just like, man, it sucks to like be a kid and hear that from adults. Like, well, it's fun while you're young, or like you'll play in high school and maybe college, and that's it. And it's just like,
Yeah,
it's a bummer to
frustrating.
like, because I mean, like I went to elementary school with Christian Yelich, who's
oh, nice.
and so it's
MVP. Yeah,
and it's funny because like I remember like him growing up, like he'd play with his dad like all the time, like every weekend and stuff. And it's interesting that like younger boys can be groomed to be like, you could do this professionally, and for women it's just like, this is a hobby, is like kind of what we're taught.
It's a more concrete path for a man.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
It's a bigger, let's be honest, it's a way bigger carrot. You have to sacrifice your body and all this time.
Yeah.
And if that's part of the thing. If it's a bigger carrot, you're going to get more women trying to do it. They're a bigger bigger part of the population. There's going to be more athletes.
I know.
Just math.
I get it. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm sick of hearing that out of. Let's be frank, it's a lot of cis hetero men that I see.
Yeah, and it's such a shitty argument because I'm like, well, yeah, the reason it doesn't have as much revenue as the men's is because the women's doesn't exist the way the men's does. I'm like, that's like,
let's invest.
That's why we need to change it.
Yeah, invest a little into that infrastructure.
Yeah,
build it up. And these leagues have the mechanisms to do it. If they, I mean, the WNBA is kind of doing
love
that.
Sports. Girls love sports growing up. Like PE was always my favorite time of day when I was like in elementary school and recess and stuff. And it's like the interest is there, and I think that's the problem. Is a lot of men don't think that women have the interest for it, and it's like that's just not true.
I mean, I went to my 10-year-old niece's club soccer match this Saturday morning.
Aww.
Yeah, 8:00 start.
Yeah.
In Phoenix. I got the funniest sunburn ever. It was not good. They got I don't want to embarrass her because she's probably not watching. She's probably in bed. She doesn't even know the show exists. The parents have a total, but they lost 6-0. They got waxed. They had a goalie who hadn't played goalie, which really wasn't on her. It was tough.
That's a tough. I remember there was one time I got thrown in goalie, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is like the most intimidating. If you don't play, it's the most intimidating position because you're like, oh, this is all on me. Like, and then you feel so bad.
It makes you appreciate Mia Hamm, right, in the World Cup.
Absolutely, going in and being goalie. I'm like, that's so good for her. She's so cool.
Yeah. So that was my first live sporting event I had seen since I saw Lakers Celtics for my birthday at the end of February. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It's so they're able to play in Phoenix now though. Like they're having like some leagues.
So many kids playing. People, parents wearing masks. No, the players aren't wearing masks, which is funny. I'm about to head. This is my last show in Los Angeles. I'll be doing because I'm heading to Massachusetts for a while. I may be back, but next week we'll be doing the show from the road. So that'll be fun. I don't know where I'll be necessarily, but we will do the show. I will do it remotely. I just don't know from where yet. It will be somewhere from the middle of America.
What an adventure.
Yeah, what an adventure. But Massachusetts, so they're doing high school soccer, and actually the parochial high school from my hometown, who are the Shamrocks, not the Bombardiers, much more traditional name. The Bishop Hume Shamrocks. They had a girl with a mask on. I think she was in the New York Times or one of the national newspapers because they're wearing masks when they play, which I think must be really hard. What do you think?
That's so dangerous, I feel like, because like, okay, I mean, I was thinking about this the other day, like when people wear like masks in like the pool. Like I saw like a kid wearing a mask in a pool, and I was like, that is so dangerous because like if you're drowning, it's like you're getting like waterboarded. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, that's crazy. And I feel like I mean, running with a mask I find to be pretty hard unless you. I mean, I guess kids have like, are their lungs better than ours? Probably. Like they're not kids? Smoking and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
they haven't touched the weed and stuff yet. They're
but
like
in California, they've been breathing in fire the last 4 summers.
True, that's true. But that's why in California they're not bringing sports back, but in Massachusetts. But I still feel like that could be really dangerous because like if you do have an asthma problem or exercise induced asthma or anything, like, and you have a mask on your face, I feel like you'd pass out, right?
Yeah, I've flown a few times with a mask, and the first time I did, I threw up the first flight because I got.
And that's just sitting there. That's without like. Yeah. So I can't imagine like doing a sport in a mask. Like I even going on a walk for me, if I'm like talking on a walk I went on a walk with my friend. We were both wearing masks, and I was like, I'm dying. Like this is hard. Like this is hard for me. So
it's hot in LA too. LA's still been
so
100 degrees still lately. So.
Like 120, like that was a few weeks ago. But I just remember like I was like, I can't even go outside right now. And between the fires with that heat, it's just like, no.
Yeah. And you know what? It makes me mad because it affects the birds. And I'm a big hummingbird guy.
Me too. I have my guitar's a hummingbird.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I have hummingbird feeder outside of my back door that I sit under and they come in.
That's my favorite animal is a hummingbird.
I straight up Snow White. I sit there with a bowl and a coffee, and I talk to them while they drink with the nectar I made them the night before. 4 parts water to 1 part sugar, everybody. Boil, cool, and serve chilled. They love it.
You're a little hummingbird bartender.
Yeah. One last trivia thing. Hummingbirds, if the amount that they have to eat in relation to their body weight, I think we'd have to eat like 1,400 pounds or 140 pounds of food a day to match.
What?
Some crazy number.
How can they fly? Like I eat a bowl of mac and cheese and I'm like, I'm out.
Because they burn so much with how fast they move that they have to eat every 20 minutes or else they can die.
That makes sense. And also I feel like animals, like we forget that like same thing when I hear like how much bears eat before they hibernate. I'm like, well, they're not eating processed shit all day. You know what I mean? They're eating like literally like healthy stuff.
Organic.
Yeah, there's no McDonald's for hummingbirds and bears. Like I guess bears sometimes they get into that garbage can with that in there, but hummingbirds aren't going to fast food places,
Plus, the key to weight loss, bee stings.
What?
Yeah, bee stings are supposed to make you lose weight.
Really? My mom just got stung. I'll have to tell her that.
Well, I mean, like a good amount, The Egyptians as an ancient.
Do they really? They sting themselves to lose weight?
I think I'm making.
Did you make this up?
I think so.
It's like this is crazy.
I should probably go before I get in trouble with some. They're opening sarcophagi. They're opening a lot of mummies lately. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, they opened all these mummies that they found, and
I love that though. That's crazy. I love all that.
All that archaeological stuff.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. They also found a huge temple in like the city that was a coastal city, a port that got covered in water and sunk. So you should look up some ancient Egypt. Yeah, Google ancient Egypt after we hang out.
That was like always my favorite like history thing in school was like the ancient Egyptian culture. I was like, oh, I love this. I really want to go there.
Yeah, there's something there. I don't know if it was aliens or they knew stuff.
I think so. I think it was aliens. If you look at like some of the markings and stuff, like I mean, like I'm like this is another like species or planet doing this. Do
you think aliens play sports? We'll end on this. Now I know Space Jam 2 is coming up. Do you think aliens play sports? Or watch our sports? 2-part question.
Okay, I feel like if they do, they probably have their own version of sports. Like, I don't know what that looks like. I feel like it's probably way cooler than ours because they have like the galaxy, like they probably do some like they play like space ball, like space baseball and stuff. Like it's probably like pretty
Yeah.
cool. And I also bet they watch ours and bet on it. That's their gambling. It's like the entertainment of our sports.
Yeah. Or like wars and other planets.
Oh yeah, they probably bet on all of that shit.
Yeah.
They're probably just watching us and they're like, ooh, 2020.
Oh, hey, leave them
Getting
alone.
out of
huh?
here.
They're turning to Rodney Dangerfield here. Huh? All right. Well, Allison, thank you so much for joining us. You have been
Thank you
a
for having
treat.
me.
That was very fun. I laughed a lot. Anything you want to promote before we leave? Anything you're doing or any projects?
Let's see. Well, I mean, if Harold Knight at UCB comes back, you can come see that. But who knows? I guess my Instagram, I'm posting characters and like videos on there. So it's
very funny stuff.
allison.grace.phillips.
Which is down at the bottom on the ticker. So for IG,
Yes.
and Aliupsidaisy for Twitter. Are you on Twitter ever? Or are you more of an IG person?
I've been getting more into it since I feel like I wasn't really into it, and then as soon as the pandemic hit, I was like, I guess I'll go on Twitter.
Yeah, I actually I think I started the process of deactivating and getting rid of my everything on that
I say I'm going to do it every day.
I get into the sewer so bad in that one, the Twitter really dragged my soul down into the muck. So I had to release that from my
I feel you.
retinue. Yeah.
Have you
All
gone
right.
down the TikTok path?
Watching a little. I had some older comedian friends who went down that path, and I think I was a little shy after seeing them do it and how hard they tried. I don't want to be mean, but there's just some stuff where I'm like, okay, I don't know. I don't need to learn dances on Fortnite. I've played. It's fun, but I don't need to know the dances. That's all I gotta say. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Give Ryan my best.
I will. Thank you for having me.
Maybe we can have the two of you. I want to have the two of you back and do some characters on the show. Like
oh, absolutely.
Like some coach, like improvise as some coach characters maybe for us.
Love it.
Okay,
Let's
work
awesome.
on that. That'll be fun. All right.
Cool.
Thank you, Allison Phillips. Farewell. What a fun show. Allison was great. Wasn't too harsh about my fantasy football team. Matt, I'm sorry again. I love you, buddy. Thanks for bearing with me. I jumped the track.
You did. It's okay.
I did. And hopefully the people that did return, we did have some people return, which was nice throughout the show. Hopefully we made up for it.
Hey,
next week,
have a safe trip across the country.
Yeah, we'll be doing remote next week, so I'll get in touch with you about that. Hopefully I can find a nice, good, solid connection a week from today.
Somewhere in
Middle America. My guess is I'll probably be in Arkansas. I'm going to guess Northwest Arkansas or Tulsa.
You heard it here first.
Tuesday. Tulsa?
Northwest Tulsa or Arkansas?
Yeah, if you have any input on that, please email Matt and let him know.
Yeah.
So he can tell me. You can email me at ken@jockmymemory.com. That actually is a valid email address that gets to me on my iPhone. ken@jockmymemory.com. Feel free to give us any feedback on the show. Tell me to fuck off. Tell Matt how sexy he is. Tell Allison what a prescient fantasy football mind she has become for America. I don't know. Everyone, thanks. Mom and Dad, love you. Everybody, I'll see you next week. Thanks to Allison. Thanks to Matt. Bye.